Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey guys, JK95 here. Tonight marks my first new video of the new year, and tonight you are in for a special treat. So, starting last summer, I started working on a new novel. This one's a romance thriller novel I titled The Exiled Baron. And it centers around this 21-year-old journalism student named Catherine McDonald, who has her last major journalism assignment in her class before she graduates from college. And for her last journalism assignment, she's picked to interview somebody, preferably somebody with a local celebrity for this interview assignment. And she picks this 28-year-old eccentric billionaire named Asil Mohammed Al-Nouri, a Libyan refugee who rebuilt his father's company, Al-Nouri Enterprises, after the war in Libya broke out, and became a billionaire over a 10-year time period. Actually, make that a 7-year time period, my mistake. And the novel is set in the year 2018. So it's set before the whole pandemic broke out. And basically as the novel progresses, Catherine conducts her interview with Asil, and it goes very well, and the two immediately fall in love and start seeing each other for the purpose of marriage. And Catherine even converts to Islam so that she can marry Asil. But then after a while, Asil suddenly gets hit with a false rape accusation at the hands of this rival billionaire named Nathaniel K. Smith Sr., or Big Nate as he's known. And it's up to Catherine to use her newfound journalism skills to prove Asil's innocence and to find the real culprit and bring them. Many of you may be thinking that aren't 90% of all rape accusations true? Well, that is the case. However, a lot of the accusations that aren't true tend to be directed at people of color, especially young black males. Anybody who studied the racial history of the United States can attest to this. If you look at cases like the Scottsboro Boys, the murder of Emmett Till, and the Central Park Five. The Central Park Five case is the main inspiration behind this novel that I've been working on over the past several months. And for those of you who don't know, the Central Park Five were 5 black and brown teenagers who were falsely accused of raping a white woman who was out jogging in Central Park. And Donald Trump, who wasn't into politics at the time but was a media mogul at the time, ran a smear campaign against them and even went as far to take out full-page ads in the newspapers calling for the Central Park Five to be executed and to bring back the death penalty. Donald Trump didn't refer to the Central Park Five by name, but everyone in New York City knew who he was talking about. And a lot of older generation Trump haters have hated Trump since 1989 because of this. And this is mirrored in my novel when Nathaniel K. Smith, the perpetrator of the actual rape that Asil gets accused of, takes out full-page ads in the newspapers and takes out billboards ads calling for Asil to be executed. And so there you have it. That's the premise of my new novel. and it is loosely inspired by the Central Park 5 case in New York City, but with more modern issues thrown into play. But I haven't been able to work on my books for long periods. My book for a long period of time because I've been busy with school, and I've only been able to work on my books in between semesters. For those of you wondering about me going back to school, part of the reason I'm going back to school is because I'm pursuing a degree in education. Because once I get my bachelor's degree, I plan on moving to the United Arab Emirates to teach English as a foreign language, specifically the Dubai area. And as the UAE has some of the highest teacher salaries in the world, a new graduate teacher in the UAE can expect to make up to as much as $4,300 a month starting salary, and teachers with a master's or higher and more experience can make as much as $5,700 a month teaching in the UAE. And part of the reason another reason I want to move there is because I want my kids to grow up in an Islamic society, and I don't want them to have to deal with the same problems that I've dealt with living in the West. I don't want my kids to go through the same shit that I went through. And also, the UAE announced in 2021 a proposal to grant certain foreigners citizenship. And one of those categories was of foreigners who could be eligible for citizenship under the new proposal as authors. The requirements being that your book has to have won at least one international award. However, you can't apply for citizenship. You have to be nominated by a UAE government official. And I don't know how the process of nomination is going to work, but 90% of the UAE's population is composed of expatriates. And a lot of expats had to leave the country because of the coronavirus pandemic back in 2020. And the UAE announced this proposal to grant certain foreigners citizenship, and another category of foreigners who might be eligible for citizenship in the future are investors, people who invest at least 10 million dirhams in real estate or business or something like that. But I'm hoping that, given the controversial nature of my latest writing project, that my book will sell lots of copies worldwide and win an international award or two, and therefore I'll get nominated for citizenship. And then, so another thing I wanted to talk about in today's video is that, so yesterday there was a hostage-taking attack at a synagogue in Colleyville, Texas, and the perpetrator demanded the release of this Pakistani neuroscientist who was convicted of trying to kill U.S. soldiers while detained in Afghanistan, and the perp happened to be Muslim. So as a Muslim convert, I highly condemn this act, and I will say that taking innocent people hostage does not make you a martyr. That makes you a coward. And in fact, in the Quran, Surah 5 verse 32 specifically says, "He who slays a person save for murder or causing mischief in the land is as if he's killed all of mankind. And he who saves a life is as if he has saved all of mankind." So, however, because the target of this attack was a synagogue and the perp was Muslim, I've noticed that the media, when synagogues get attacked, they immediately try to blame the Free Palestine movement and the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. Which I can assure you that the perp in this incident does not represent the Islamic faith in any way, shape, or form, and nor does he represent the Free Palestine and BDS movement in any way, shape, or form. That's all I have to say about that, but I have something else to say before I finish off this video. To those of you who plan on using the Colleyville Synagogue attack to justify Islamophobia and white supremacy, please do not. I want nothing to do with you if you're going to do that. And if you're going to do that, I don't want you following any of my social media accounts. And like ripping a Muslim woman's hijab off, which I see happens a lot after terror attacks. Like, after terrorist attacks, like, there's always like a huge white backlash, or a white lash as I like to call it, against the Muslim communities in the West. And like hate crimes go up after Islamist terror attacks, and they disproportionately tend to target Muslim women because of their hijab. So pulling a Muslim woman's hijab off also doesn't make you a patriot. That makes you a coward. And that's all. Well, that's it for today's video blog, folks. Once again, I'm working on a new novel titled The Exiled Baron. I told you the premise already, and if you're lucky, let me know in the comments if you want me to read the first chapter of The Exiled Baron on video sometime. And second of all, I've talked about my plans for the next 3.5 years are finish my bachelor's in education and move to Dubai to teach English as a foreign language. And then I highly condemn the hostage-taking attack at that synagogue in Colleyville, Texas. The perp does not represent Islam, Free Palestine, or BDS in any way, shape, or form. But I'm also worried about the backlash against the Muslim community that happens every time a major terrorist attack occurs. And I'm not gonna be uploading too frequently because I have school and I have to focus on my classes, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of homework assignments, so video uploads will be sparse, but they're still going to be there. That's it for today, folks. JK95 here. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a nice day.